Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Dead Space 3. Let's continue. So we kind of want to move a little bit faster because every time we walk by one of these benches, it seems to kind of waste more of our time. And so we walk through this room and now we can upgrade our rig suit, which I think that this is probably what we want more than anything else to upgrade. And the only reason why this wasn't in the other room is because they didn't want to introduce that concept, as we are still kind of like in the third or fourth chapter and still getting tutorialized. Now, I guess the idea here is that this would be a slightly old-fashioned, 100-year-old rig suit upgrade system too, which implies that the rig suit technology really hasn't changed much in that much time. We have just an EVA suit. It's interesting you have this digital screen folding like this, so we can't switch to anything else, but we can see if maybe we can upgrade it. So we can upgrade our health armor and oxygen meter, we could upgrade our stasis duration and charge time, and we can upgrade our kinesis, which it might be nice if you could use your kinesis to shoot something. It would be telekinesis normally, but they've shortened it to kinesis. If you could throw things at the enemies, that would be great. That I don't think is really where this is going, though. So, 5% armor upgrades with semiconductor, which seems like it's going to add something visually to your suit. If anything, it seems like, yeah, as this goes along, more and more your suit starts to look more like your suit, and we can get a general idea that tungsten is always going to be that premium currency, although semiconductors seem to be a high cost for armor upgrades too. So air, you pretty much don't have to upgrade. Now my concern here is that you upgrade your EVA suit and then you don't really get the ability to recall any of that, so we may get a better suit later on. We may get a better suit like a chapter before the end of the game even, and then have to upgrade everything all over again. That very well could be another element to make this game more of a live service game that they would want you to play over and over again in a new game plus mentality. You may even get suits by beating the game on New Game Plus. We, I think, get suits for beating the games on different difficulties. 25 hit points, though, I think is what we go for here. This shouldn't be too bad to say yes here and upgrade that, and yes here. I'm not getting the Xbox controller prompts. I could get more air. It is very questionable though whether I would ever need to upgrade air or not. I suppose what will happen is we'll have to figure out if we... Well, see, I could go, like, scrap some health kits and get more health points right now, I think. Because I would just need about 125 of that. Can't upgrade stasis. Can't upgrade duration. Can't upgrade recharge. Which... fine. And then... damage here. Let's see. 20%, but then you would need transducers to get up any higher. Range could go up seemingly very easy, but then you'd be spending tungsten. I mean, it does feel like you could just have your range upgraded to the maximum by default. Yeah. We'll take this one, I guess. We'll take this one, I guess. since scrap metal seems to be fairly cheap, then we would want to get somatic gel. So here's the problem. Is now we've upgraded things and apparently it's not going to go through any kind of like cutscene for that. Let's now run back here, and it's pretty much turning into one of those games where you're spending a ton of time just at the menu. Alright, so how much? I get 20 for small. I would get 50 for medium. Ooh, which means if I sell everything I have right now, it's going to be a risky move. But it's probably for the better. Go ahead and sell that. Go ahead and sell that one. That should give us as much scrap gel as we need. Hopefully. Because if you have more hit points, then theoretically you use less health kits, and this also helps you there. Okay. So just getting up halfway towards your hit points, I think is the right move. And then, well, since we have scrap metal, we'll do air. Since typically in these games you don't have really enough to upgrade things anyways. What is it getting signals from that it's going back? That's the weird part, is that there's no reason why the game should be getting an input from a mouse or keyboard to put the prompts back to mouse and keyboard prompts. Alright, well, I'm just hoping that was worth it.
Isaac, Norton here.
Why are you contacting me on a private channel?
Because I need to know if you're on my side.
We're taking sides now?
I know you two had a thing, but she's mine now, and I love her too much to let her do this.
If she's right and this is the marker homeworld, maybe there's a chance of stopping this.
Look, we both know how this is going to end. If they found a way to stop the markers 200 years ago, don't you think we'd all be safe by now? It doesn't add up. Oh, I get it. I get it. You think you and her... Yeah, we'll forget it. She's over, all right?
So it's a weird situation here where A, that may have been a hallucination. B, in co-op you would have this other military guy, but he's not the military guy dating your ex-girlfriend. So there's kind of too many new characters being introduced. In the first game, a lot of it made sense that you would be alone and you'd get these video feeds from people otherwise. But in this game, we've already seen several scenes where there's real live 3D models of people talking to you. So the messages have just kind of lost their importance. A lot of opportunity for new suits there. Interesting. I wonder if that was a glitch or if that was intentional. Or if that was just because I was standing too close to the door. This definitely feels like another loading room. Let's see. Use kinesis on this. To replenish air tanks. I don't understand. Alright, well. I don't know where we're going.
Transmission.
I guess we're going this way.
Do you guys hear this? My rig's picking up some kind of looping message.
It sounds encrypted. It's coming from the research vessel CMS Greeley. This could be really important.
If I get a chance, I'll check into it, Santos. Isaac out.
So I don't know if that was supposed to be an optional mission. Let's see. Alright. Interesting, the marker indicator doesn't work there. I feel like I'm going to run out of oxygen. A, trying to figure out how to use oxygen, or B, going the wrong direction. See oxygen here. I seem to have a plethora of oxygen tanks. I'm just confused and I'm about to die. An encrypted message seems broadcast from CMS Greeley, one of the Scarf Festivals in the derelict photo, and when I have a chance I should check it out. Alright, so that's great and all. Where is it? It seems like we've got this whole environment of places, mines. I have like 80 seconds left. I think I have to run this way just to get some oxygen, just to think about where I'm going next. Yeah, apparently just being near these oxygen machines refills your oxygen. And I cannot get the marker to indicate anything. So is that the ship we're supposed to go to, or are there a collection of ships that we're supposed to go to? And I guess as far as the story is concerned, let's see. Yeah, the A button is the thing that activates these. Interesting. It's just not, the A prompt is scrolling on this text, and you have to be really close to it before it even prompts you. Alright, well, I guess the question is, are these a skybox elements, or can you literally fly to these ships? I think if you can fly to these ships, it's going to take you so incredibly long that you'd run out of oxygen. Like, it does not feel like you're going any further. Seems like there's an invisible wall there that's blocking your signals, or blocking your progress. So we are on this ship, and either the main story seemed to indicate that we were supposed to go that way because it was pointing to that direction first, which really only leaves you with... See, does this refill your oxygen when you're next to it? No. There are some... you do that, then you do that, then you press A. Okay. Good to know. So then the question is, how would one get inside what looks like a really small scrap of metal? Honestly, it doesn't seem like there really is an inside to it. I think there's probably something to be said for scale that is wrong here. Things looking a lot smaller. I have to just kind of assume what is supposed to happen here is you're supposed to come over here, open this first, and then fly this little transport skipper. Maybe this moves you to different... Ah, I see. So there are several different places that you can go to. So this is a transition area. You can look around, but it's fairly small, so there's not a lot to see. And the visuals on that cutscene looks pretty bad because that's probably pre-rendered video. I assume there's a thought that there are mines everywhere, so that also is a consideration. Okay. Alright, let's look around. I see something way there, and I guess that might be an excuse as to why your kinesis range would do better. I think this is just an oxygen thing though. So if this one is labeled Greeley, I suspect then you really are just going to get into the ship. You're not going to fly over to that section. Even that section still feels like it is more a skybox section than anything. Oops. I guess what you have to do with these is shoot them and then take the resources from them if you're going to do that. Does seem like there's a blinking section over here. Not seeing a lot of necromorphs, which, I mean, that kind of makes sense. that there wouldn't really be a lot of them. At a certain point, it does get questionable. Can't just fly in there. Though, as to why are there any necromorphs at all if they shot themselves in the heads, but I guess maybe shooting yourself in the head is not enough. You have infinite rocket boosters, so you could fly around this whole environment, I think, as much as you would care to. See something glowing yellow here. We did sell a lot of health kits, so it wouldn't hurt to try and refill our health by use of these kinds of barrels. Interesting. I cannot telekinesis that because that wasn't an actual barrel. It's a lot of just blinking lights. Whereas I feel like there's got to be a real way to get onto the ship. You have to grab this even if it is right next to you. What was that sound effect from? So we're looking for a way on board. And it shouldn't be this difficult to find some entryway, considering how many exit patterns there are. Yeah, you'd think you'd just be able to do something like this and land on this surface and walk on it. So the red platforms we know are the shuttle spots. Is there something down here that's the entry path? Ah, no, it's red. So look for the red as far as airlocks. We've yet to see one of these doors that would need a lock. I guess I was hurt when I was blown up by the mine. I can now look at my health. And I used either a medium health kit or a small one to get back up to where we were. Back up to maximum. The problem with this idea
Hey Santos, I made it inside the Greeley. Any luck with that encrypted message?
No, but if you can find the source, maybe we can find a way to decrypt it.
Roger that. Isaac out.
Yeah, all of these optional missions are going to have to be like balanced somewhat to your weapons level and skill level. We're getting a weird sound effect there. And these optional missions in a horror game don't make the fullest amount of sense, but they make a lot more sense when you know you have to collect a bunch of items. Compact standard frame. Here we have a old school looking space helmet. And we'll still have a lot of windows that we look out. We don't want to waste a lot of bullets. Is there something to collect here? I guess not. in a lot of ways, these probably can't be that too big of a experience. Like, I'm hearing music, I'm not seeing any necromorphs at all.
Santos. Looks like parts of the ship are sealed off.
Sealed? On purpose? Do you think you can get it open?
I'm not sure. If I can get the power on, I may be able to lift the security lockdown. Hold on.
So we need a torque bar to open that door. So that these are in the mission areas. We need access codes that way. We have got no power, so we can't use the bench right now. Lots of sound effects, lots of horror element indications. I think this game definitely got a lot darker in this section. Honestly, this is making enough noise that it feels like I'd want to start to turn down the audio a little bit, because it's kind of annoying. And the noise it's making is general ship noise, or the game is glitched noise. Either one may actually be the case, compared to necromorphs are attacking you noise. Yeah. The sounds do stop when you pause, but they start up again. And see, this may very well... Interesting. In that shadow, it looked like there was a necromorph. That's a cool concept, certainly. This could be... The sound we're hearing is the physics of an object rattling because of the high frame rate against something. That wouldn't be the first time I've seen a game do that. Probably be more interesting to stomp on things if I wasn't mostly stomping on boxes. So yeah, this could be a generator. Could be a sound effect they gave to a specific object that gets placed all over the place. This seems like this is a electric generator, an old school electric generator.
Santos, power's on.
I see it. The lockdown is originating from the radio room.
Set my waypoint. I'll head there.
I feel like Santos being a character in this game only exists because they wanted to have these optional missions, and that just confuses the issue. In the first game, you kind of had 2 or 3 people that you were seeing cutscenes from, and that was it. These guys are getting more organic looking instead of, oh, what would be a necrotic looking. Which that is what happened in the first game, is that you eventually got down to this point where you were seeing the bodies mold and turn into less and less humanoid creatures. Wow, that one definitely didn't take any real load.
Isaac, how's your progress?
I found the radio room. Just give me a minute to release this lockdown.
Yeah. How much inventory do we have right now? Not really doing great since we sold all that health kits to have more health in the general. So we're gonna hope that that fixes itself, and it seems like it will. With pickups. It probably isn't a terrible strategy to just sell everything every time you see a bench if you're a good enough player and if you're upgraded enough to survive. This technology looks fairly old. And yeah, it really doesn't make a lot of sense that a rig suit technology would still be working. Let's see. Use the left stick to balance the left and right systems. Okay. Before we do this puzzle, which will inevitably trigger a cutscene, let's see what else is around here. These games never really implemented the idea of corpses becoming like coming back to life at cinematic times as much as you would think. Like if something's been dead on the ground, you either have to walk close to it to trigger it, and that is the closest to a cinematic experience, or it's dead forever. Okay. So right now we have 90. So let's give 45 to that. And then 45 to that. And that wasn't quite enough, so let's give 60 that way. Can't overload it. Alright, good to know. So that's in imbalance, so it's probably closer to this.
I told you! I don't know! Dr. Barton, someone is broadcasting a coded message planetside. Who are you trying to contact? Dr. Serrano? Tell me! Stop! Please! They wouldn't tell me! I don't know! Commander, this is Unit 3. They barricaded themselves in with the broadcasting equipment.
If that's where they want to die, let them. Cut the ship's power. It'll kill their life support and cripple the transmission.
What about the others?
You know the orders. No one lives.
Understood.
Yeah.
No! No! Please! You don't understand! You can't do this!
So more mystery. Did I collect that as an audio thing?
I told
Yeah.
you! I don't know! Dr. Barton, someone is broadcasting a coded message planetside.
So yeah,
Are you
I
trying to contact?
guess that's what we were supposed to do,
Tell me!
because it kicked me out of the puzzle area. See how these like characters don't even really have like flesh on their bodies anymore? They are really turning closer to like walking corpses than what we have been seeing up until this point. Okay. So do we have enough to craft here so that we can like craft that one item? No. We have 5 tungsten. We very possibly failed miserably here. And what gives us tungsten otherwise? Kind of nothing. Meanwhile, as far as weapon crafting and weapon upgrades, I don't think we have anything of real importance. Until we can hold more weapons, which we obviously are going to need to get an upgraded suit to do that. I don't think we've gotten any new blueprints. So maybe by the end of this whole level we'll have enough to get to where we need to go. Or get what we want. Okay. There's an elevator down here. We're getting different annoying sound effects now. I think we should be careful. +1 damage, +1 clip is certainly an interesting idea. We've got toilets, space toilets. And I think if these are ever going to open, they're going to open in New Game Plus. There you go. Take a shower. Going in there only benefited you. There's no penalty for doing that. I feel like we also probably came this direction and now this is locked. So we can't exit until we've done the whole thing. Alright, well. Damage in 1 clip. Which we will definitely put that in instead. And we would need tungsten to upgrade to do more damage. Right. Now this isn't one of those games where you lose the bullets when you reload. That would really suck. So that gives me 2 more shots. So a clip of this gun is 2. So max that gun out, you can do 4 more damage theoretically, and have 8 more shots. So you're not going to change things greatly. In the second game, there were rooms that were kind of wrapped like this in attempts to like cover up things or keep things clean. So we may see more of that idea. Maybe, maybe not. Smacking these guys is not working. How's the checkpointing in this game? Like, I pretty much didn't die at all in the first game because I think I was playing on easy. So that one has hit us with some acid shot. So I guess the idea here, this glowing purple doesn't indicate anything. It's just a lighting choice. I guess the idea here is that you have what looks like a human person being sliced and frozen. They actually did this to a person on death row with his permission in the name of science to get the most detailed scans they could possibly do. They scanned it super thin. I'm not sure if they did his whole body or just his brain, to just better understand the brain. Pause now if you want to read this. Alien artifact. Yep. And then, yeah, this might not be human at all. These might have been necromorphs that they were freezing and slicing up. Which, I mean, one or the other. I think I've wedged this in such a way that I can't get it to where I want it to be. So it seems to me what we're gonna do is, it's weird how purple these lights are. I think what we're gonna do is probably go down the elevator, escalator. But first we've gotta stomp on everything, otherwise we may miss out on some pickup item. This, yeah, doesn't seem like it's something that we even interact with. If there was a better understanding of how the Necromorphs actually worked and existed, then it probably would be a better way to defeat them. Like, if they're being held together with some kind of energy or signal, you would expect you could counter that signal, shield from that signal. They've introduced the explosive guys, by the way. Without any fanfare at all, the ones with the big glowing arms. We may very well get back to the main story and find that they do decide to give some fanfare to the explosive guys. Everybody should get a little bit of a reintroduction, and frankly there should be some new characters. There is definitely a feeling here that you could accuse the game series of not evolving, really, particularly in this third section. Like, it doesn't really feel like it. It may be a little bit better looking, but the guns feel the same, the enemies feel the same. Story feels like it is exactly the same story. I'm not sure if there's ever an argument about. I'm gonna try and exit out of this. Yeah. I don't know if there's ever been an argument to have a horror game turn into an action game and it really work, with maybe the exception of Resident Evil 4, and even at that point Resident Evil 4 established a pattern that was very much going down the gutter with Resident Evil 5 and Resident Evil 6, and it wasn't until Resident Evil 7 that the Resident Evil games went back to their roots of being a horror game, and people were interested again. In a lot of ways, what Capcom did with even Resident Evil 4 to push it to be an action game mostly fell on deaf ears. That might be one example of a place where you're better off having a different kind of gun. Is that gonna open this door? Apparently so. It's crazy that we still don't have the drones or anything. And there's kind of not an item that you would want to craft. You could craft small health kits, which honestly it seems like having small health kits is better than having medium health kits at that cost. But we haven't found a single bit of tungsten. And honestly, I don't think even if you had bought the DLC content, I don't think that would have given you tungsten either. I think there's probably always going to be this premium currency that you're going to be in short supply of. That I suppose was supposed to be an example of a co-op level where one player watches your back while the other one opens the door. Apparently I can't pull things through. What am I supposed to be doing with this? Oh. Apparently just taking the lid off of it. Oh. Interesting. So you get a semiconductor there, and that intentionally blew up the box that was on top of it as a way of warning you, hey, these flame gravity plates. Are these gravity plates? Like from the first game? Or are they flame plates? I don't know. Let's do an experiment here. Yes. Anti-gravity plates. Okay. So they shot things up in the air. There's some blue glowing lights over there that look like a platform for no good reason. Really feels like all I'm gonna do in this level is get some items and get some backstory to an unimportant backstory. Also kind of feels like this game could have easily had that's just a glowing light. This game could have easily had a multiple ships from multiple timelines, and there could be very modern ships, very old ships, or at least you could have several different visuals for different ships. Instead, what's going to happen, I think, is we're going to end up... Am I supposed to do something here? It says to go here. I guess maybe I'm supposed to turn this.
Martin, this is Laura Engstrom. They
I assume we're just getting these lines of dialogue in the collectibles here, as far as chapter collectibles. We've now gotten the key. Download the encrypted codes. Press back for details. Not now, of course. So, like the rest of the game, those little crawlers are going to try and infect corpses and bring them back to life. What I was saying was, like the rest of the game, it seems like we are going to spend a lifetime going back and forth.
Isaac, what is that horrible noise?
I think I pulled out something I shouldn't have. The gravity plating is tearing itself apart. The message is a warning to someone named Serrano on the planet's surface.
Did you find a way to decode it?
Yeah, the encryption key is in the office of Laura Ingstrom.
Oh, let me see if I can find it. Yes, here she is. I'll send it to your locator.
These glass things don't break. We already know where we're going. Anyone paying attention would already know where you're going. I guess we're going to have gravity plating failing, so you'll just want to be fairly careful. Although it doesn't seem like you have to actually be that careful, because it's visually obvious which plates are going to move and which ones aren't. So they've just created a bit of a puzzle here. The problem here is you don't have any like knockback abilities, so whether you know where the gravity plating issues are going to be or not doesn't really matter, because you can't knock the enemies down that direction. Best case scenario, you can try and position yourself halfway through. Making sure I just get every single Necromorph dead. This is probably the experience that you want in a horror game. Interesting. 1 health really only brings you up a couple bars. I overused health kits there. But yeah. There's the explosive guys again. More of those guys. Interesting that the crouch button is also the indicator button. Is there a way to just check how much tungsten I have? Yeah. There is. So we very possibly might miss out on this and or have to come back to get it later, because I just don't see myself actually getting 15 tungsten in this room. But maybe. Nope, there's 20 tungsten. Interesting. They specifically set that all up.
Got it. Hey, Santos, I'm sending you the decryption key now.
I see it. Hold on, I'll apply it to the message.
It really does kind of feel like this could have all been done by the military guy.
Hide Rosetta? Who's she?
They must have been trying to hide her from the execution order. Her research could be the key to all of this.
But why issue a cleanse order if it would destroy such an important secret?
Maybe they panicked. Or maybe they knew something we didn't.
Isaac, thanks for looking into this. It could prove very useful.
Good to hear. Well, I'm heading back. We've got a long road ahead of us. Isaac out.
See, just... Alright, you did the side quest. Feel rewarded. Now leave, pretty much. One would assume that they're talking about a Rosetta Stone, not a Rosetta person. Alright, well, before we do anything else, let's craft the tungsten torque bar. And we probably would want to craft another one of those as soon as we can. Just have one ahead of normal. Now, we could make a weapon. Is there even a reason to make a weapon though? Because these weapons at their core, as long as you can only hold two, it kind of doesn't matter. Like, yeah, I could make a Tesla gun, but it would use resources, certainly, to do that. And until we could, say, craft a heavy standard frame. No, I mean a compact elite frame, which would take a ton of tungsten. It seems like what you're better off doing is just taking your standard frame and upgrading that. It doesn't seem like there's really any difference as far as your standard, your damage, reload speed, or anything like that. So I don't think the frames really mean anything different. It's just, can you more quickly build the things you would like to build? The only attachment we're still also looking for would be the ammo support, which once again is tungsten. It's just all going to be tungsten, always. And then if we were going to upgrade anything here, we would need 20 tungsten. Yep. So I was thinking I was going to exit out of the game, but I'm not sure I need to do that. I just hit the wrong button at the wrong time and wasted another health hit. So, am I supposed to be matching this at a specific point? Seems weird. Oh yeah, you've got to really spin it and tap B a lot. Let's see. Telemetry spike. That seems like that was worth it. Ammo clip, not really worth it. A upgrade circuit with increase of rate of fire and damage. Seems to be worth it. A weapon there. Transducer there. Questionable. Yeah, it was questionable as far as like collectibles. That was the only thing that I thought maybe we would have missed, but I don't know if there are any collectibles, frankly, in the optional mission. Kind of wouldn't be surprised if there aren't. And how many times have I been to the bench in this past hour? 5? 6? Let's modify this gun. Add damage, rate of fire, and damage. Increase. I really can't upgrade anything else. I think it is also worth mentioning, you know what I haven't been doing? Is switching over to this gun. At all. Like, I just have no interest at all in switching between guns. I think I'll almost certainly play with the standard gun throughout the entirety of the gameplay. Now up here, unless there was something to upgrade, there's a suit kiosk. So I guess we can not change suits, but we can see if we can upgrade our rig. Would have needed more tungsten for more hit points. We can upgrade our armor, which is great, but we need more tungsten for that. Like, ideally, we want to just kind of balance out armor and hit points as best as we can. Hopefully these upgrades also kind of balance each other out. We could increase the duration of stasis, which wouldn't be the worst idea ever. Let's see what else we can do. Yeah, we might as well. Oh yeah, the reason I wanted to exit out just to see if I can figure out why the game is giving the wrong button prompts, which is a tiny thing certainly, but annoying nonetheless. And so we get back to this way, and this is where the annoying sound effect was apparently coming from, which implies to me probably that there's something outside of the spaceship that is taking our bouncing against the wall though. So we're going to the Terra Nova ship. I just wanted to double check before we get out into space. Is there an argument to look around space? What I think should have happened, it's probably easier just to run than to fight those guys, is we should have seen something very valuable floating in this space, something that you could just not miss at all, and then that would have potentially motivated me to want to look in this garbage heap of ship parts for potential high level upgrade components and circuits. Even if there were upgrade circuits though, like, I'm kind of rolling in upgrade circuits until I can have like 4 guns, and even when I can have 4 guns, you're only talking about 16 circuits, unless there's some way to dismantle the weaker +1 damage circuits or combine them with +1 reload. You're never really going to want to use those circuits. So, yeah. Unlike the way it worked in the first game, that there's just nowhere as many upgrade components that you needed. In the first game, you needed 3 or 4 sometimes to fill in a slot. So we were on the Roanoke. The Brusilov. I wonder if that is maybe the DLC content too. So we may very well always see the Brusilov and ignore it until the end of the game or near the end of the game. We don't have any missions, it seems, because it seems like the missions are listed here. As far as what you're supposed to do. I might be wrong about that, certainly. It may very well be the case that the Brusilov is just another ship we will visit, and we're only going to visit 4 ships throughout the course of the game, and the planet itself. We may only visit the planet at the very end of the game. That didn't feel like much of a trip, certainly. Yeah, it definitely feels like we should be
I'm inside the Terra Nova. Which way to the shuttle?
Santos, you found the impound records. What did they say?
Only that the shuttle was decommissioned. They were going to part it out.
Great, so basically nobody knows?
There must be more detailed shipping records somewhere. I'll take a look around the ship.
One would have assumed that it would have saved in that section, but I'm not sure it actually did. So let's go over here through this door, and then we'll call it a day. Yeah, not really seeing a save spot. Heavy standard frame. I just don't know how you would have... There's the saving. Okay. Yeah, I just don't know how you would have had a game... And see, in a funny way, this is going to load once again. That would have let you upgrade your weapons and have 4 weapons at this point. So we're just getting all these weapon components that by all understanding are pointless. And yeah, I don't know if we're ever going to get a suit that holds more than an extra 5 items. It doesn't seem like we'll probably even have 9 key items. That seems like an exaggeration. We may never even have more than 3 weapon slots. We are looking to get a ship in chapter 5 now. Of how many was it? Chapter 19 chapters? Yeah. So we're like 1/3 of the way through the game, and we've barely done anything other than look at the bench, plus 3 more chapters in the DLC. And the scavenger bots just have not even come into play, so have those just been disabled in some weird update? If they were, that might change a lot of things, certainly. I mean, it is possible that somebody came back and tweaked this game, got rid of the scavenger bots completely, increased the amount of items you find in general, and made it a much better game. Even at that, though, we're still running into this tungsten element that is not working particularly well. Can we see achievements if I click on achievements? Well, they're hidden. So they're kind of pointless. Or most of them are hidden. Some of them are not. Like collect all weapons parts is an interesting achievement that you almost certainly wouldn't get. Find ping. Again, that's an achievement. See, successfully deploy scavenger bots to 15 resource areas, which obviously we still, if that achievement's there, you'd assume you could still do that. Let's see. Fully upgrade your rig. Craft a blueprint that needs at least 2,000 resources. Do some co-op stuff that, yeah, pretty much you won't be able to get all the achievements. So, yeah, there's no point here for me to even care about achievements in general in this game if it requires co-op. As far as prologue, we beat it on normal, and it did count that on count the casual too, which I guess if you found the one artifact in that game and then did the prologue in on impossible, which would still probably be super easy to do, you could get 100%. I don't know if getting 100% really matters. This one is at 100% even though I didn't beat it on impossible. So difficulty levels don't actually seem to count towards the percentage. But then I missed an artifact in chapter 2. I didn't miss an artifact in chapter 3. This game is slowly getting to the point where it feels like you might actually want to go back and play it some more, but yeah, I don't know if you really would. And see, the Brusilov was a co-op mission, but it was never offered to me because I was playing solo. So unless there's a way to play co-op with an AI character, it does seem like you can't actually play half of this game on top of that. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that apparently I missed. I don't know how much of that was because of the co-op stuff. Well, that's annoying. Alright, well, I just realized I could have saved and quit anywhere. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and get me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.